I'm Chuck Stangel. I'm a horticulture instructor here at Fox Valley Tech, and I'm going to talk to you for a couple of minutes this morning about spring trimming, specifically about how to trim and when to trim. We're going to talk about when to trim first, and we have two broad categories of plants that we're going to work with. We're going to talk about deciduous or leafy plants, and we're going to talk about evergreens. So if we talk first about deciduous or leafy plants, we break it down another step further and decide, is it a flowering plant or just a leafy plant? If it's a flowering plant, the simplest thing to do in terms of when to prune the plant is to prune it after it flowers, okay? So here's an example. Here's a Forsythia. This is a nice early spring blooming plant. We're gonna wait until it's done blooming in a couple of weeks and do our pruning on that. I'll show you how in a minute. Over here, we have a lilac. Buds are just starting to show up on the lilac. It's going to be a few weeks before we need to prune that, okay? If it's a summer flowering shrub, something that blooms off its new wood like a rose or a hydrangea, those you'll wait until after they're done flowering in order to prune those. If it's a plant that doesn't get flowers, we have barberry right here, okay? This is mainly a foliage plant. The old timers say that when to prune those is when your pruners is sharp. It's that easy. Just go ahead and prune them anytime you want. You're not going to be cutting flowers off. So that's the when for deciduous or leafy plants. For evergreens, there are two windows of opportunity for trimming evergreens. One is in early spring, after winter is over, and the other one is midsummer. You don't want to prune evergreens in late spring or say around Memorial Day, because that's when they're pushing all their new growth, okay? So you want to leave them alone then. And the decision about whether to prune in spring or to prune in midsummer is typically determined by the type of plant. Over here we have some globe Arborvitae. They have a very distinct round shape, and this is the kind of plant that people like to use these kinds of tools on, okay? Everybody likes to in order to shape plants. So if I want them to continue to have this sort of natural, relaxed form, I'm going to trim them now. It's still early spring, and I can go along and I can just give them a little bit of a haircut. I'll just go around the whole plant like that and clean that off, and then in a month or so, when they get their new growth, they're going to get kind of fuzzy and soft looking again. If you like really shaped plants, really distinct forms, wait until that new growth comes on and then prune just like I did, but do it in midsummer, okay? So either early spring or midsummer for shaping evergreens. Other types of evergreens, over here we have a juniper. Junipers have a natural form. You don't want to use the hedge clippers on those. Again, same time of year. You want to prune in either early spring or midsummer, but typically I'm going to use either a hand pruners or a loppers for this type of work, and I'm just going to take out individual branches. So I'm going to take a branch like this, which is just going to get longer and extend over the sidewalk. I'm going to follow it back into its point of origin, and I'm going to cut it off. Don't cut your fingers off when you do this. So I'm just going to take that entire branch out like that, and I'm going to go work my way through the entire plant and thin it out so it retains that natural form, yet is reducing the size and shape of the whole plant. For these deciduous plants, do the same thing. Remember, with a deciduous plant, wherever you make a cut is where you're going to get your new growth. So previously this plant had been cut here, and now there's all new stems coming out. So don't just cut the top of the plant, take some stems out from the base when you do cut them. So the how and the when of pruning either deciduous or leafy plants, real quick pointers on that. Again, looking for more information, want some help on that, want to take a class on how to do this, we would love to have you come out and visit us at Fox Valley Tech, or visit our website to get more information about the classes and the programs we have available. Thank you very much.